Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Thursday night and it's a technique night tonight. So here I am. I'm a few minutes late. Got busy. I don't know what I was doing on my computer, but all of a sudden I looked at my clock and realized I was late. So here I am. Now, I have done this technique before. We're going to do some embossed resist. It's a bit like creating your own designer series paper, but it's actually, we're going to do some stamping using Versamark. Emboss it using clear embossing powder, and then do some blending on it. Hey, Sarah, welcome. I noticed you're not, so tell me, it's great you told me your name, but if you're coming in through Facebook, don't forget to go out to streamyard.com/Facebook and give permission. And that way I can actually see your name and acknowledge you. But I'm glad you actually put your name and where you're from in the comment. Hey, Dawn and Tim, welcome. Also, if you're coming in through YouTube and you haven't done this already, hit the subscribe button, and that way you'll get notified when I go live on YouTube or post a video, which I do on a regular basis. That way you don't have to kind of remember to go out and check. All right, so emboss resist. This is one of my favorite techniques. I'm using the Countryside In. Actually, I'm not. I'm using the Lasting Joy stamp set, which is kind of on the next page in the new upcoming annual catalog from the Countryside In. Countryside In is a lovely blue colors, and that's kind of where I got my inspiration for it from. And I've grabbed a piece of the designer series paper that I'm going to put on the inside, but I think I'm just going to do emboss resist on the front, unless I decide to put some designer series paper on as well. We'll see how it goes. All right, I'm going to switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. All right, so this is the Lasting Joy stamp set. It's really pretty. Got some great sentiments. So this is one from the new brand new upcoming annual catalog that comes out for customers May 2nd. It's got some little stamps, and I'm going to use these little stamps to create my emboss resist. I grabbed the Waves of Inspiration stamp. I really want this Our Friendship is a Thing of Beauty. So I'm going to stamp that. That's all I'm going to use from that stamp set. And then, so this is the designer series paper. So originally, isn't this adorable? Definitely is very country with these little bunnies. It's all in the different blues. So there's Night of Navy, Boho Blue, which is one of the new in colors. Azure Afternoon, which is this pretty blue color. It's got some white on it. The back side of this is striped. So all of them are beautiful, all in the different blues. But I thought this one might pop against the white. Now, originally, you can help me with this. Originally, I thought I would emboss resist half. And I still might do that. And then do the designer series paper on the bottom of my card. I just love these little bunnies. I didn't have any bunnies to do an Easter card when I was looking for it. But now I've got lots of bunnies in this paper. So I've got a piece of Night of Navy. It's going to be card base. So that's kind of what it's going to look like with the embossed resist on it. So got my trimmer. Now I realized I've got a little bit of kind of scraggly. I didn't cut this very well, so I'm just going to trim just an edge off. That didn't even get on the off. All right, I might have to take my paper snips to it. Maybe I can get this. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take my paper snips. All right, I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. Well, I have my trimmer here. And all this is open and a little easier to just trim off. If you ever get this kind of scraggly edge, just either trim it with your paper trimmer or just kind of take your snips and kind of go along that edge and clean it up a little bit. Sometimes it means your trimmer needs a new blade. In this case, it isn't that. I just didn't do a very good job of cutting it. All right, this is the side I score on. So this is the raised line. So always fold into the raised line and give that a good burnish. All right, set that aside. Let's grab our basic white. So this is cut 3 3/4 by 5. Hey, Nancy. And the reason I cut it, so this is the piece, this is the Azure Afternoon. Oh, that's a good idea. Sandpaper to clean it up definitely would work too. So this is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I just wanted a little bit of that showing. So it's cut, the white is cut 1/4 inch smaller all around. Okay, so what we're going to do, I grabbed this, let's see, where's my stamp set? This is the Lasting Joy. So I grabbed this stamp, this sprig, and these little flowers. So I think I'm only gonna do half. So I'm gonna maybe do 2/3, and that way I know I've got enough. So I'm just gonna kind of randomly stamp, and you're not gonna be able to see this as I stamp, but I'm just gonna take, I can kind of see where I am. I'm gonna go on and off the paper, and then I'll go in and fill in between using, it's even hard for me to see, using the sprig. Oh goodness, I think I'm going to emboss this, or yeah, I think I'm going to, well, at least put embossing powder on it. That will help me see. And I always keep my embossing powder in the plastic container, and that way I can I do a better job of keeping it. There we go. Now I can see, don't know that, oh, you can maybe just see my flowers. There we go. So I think I can actually stamp between these with these sprigs without doing my damage to my flowers that I've already got the embossing powder on. The embossing powder, or the Versamark, can dry fairly quickly, and so when you're trying to do a fairly large area like this, you do have to work fairly quickly. So let's see how much I've got covered over. All right, I think I still have some room here. So just doing little bits of this at a time, you definitely gets you, lets you, oh, there's another one. Kind of, you can fill in the gaps. All right, I think that's pretty good. And even with my plastic container that seems to hold most of it in, I still make quite a mess with my embossing powder. I don't know about you, but I don't know. For me, I just seem to get it all over the place. There we go. Okay, so now let's bring in our heat tool. And so, oops, it's running away on me. Okay, so when you want to do embossing, you want to hold it in one spot until you start to see it go shiny and clear. And then you can start to move it around. So my little sprigs have started to go. And then you can start to move it around. Don't hold it in one spot. Once it starts to melt, don't hold it in one spot for too long. It will just kind of absorb back into the paper, and that's not what you want with the embossing powder. All right. So the next step is I'm going to grab a blending brush, and I'm going to use the boho blue, and I'm probably going to do some actual stamping as well with one of these other flowers. I've got some of the other, the inside of the flower. Okay. Oops, I missed a spot. So if you've got spots that are, there's one spot here that I can see that is still kind of dull, matte finish, just put your, put the heat tool back on it. So there's a few right on that side. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to grab a blending brush. I'm going to use one of the little ones. I really like these little ones, and you don't get so much ink on them, and you can. I find I can control them. So if you haven't got these little ones, you might want to think about that. So I'm going to start with the lightest color, which is this pretty boho blue. Isn't that? It's gorgeous. Kind of reminds me of, what was it? Oh, my brain is gone. It was a really pretty blue. It was, I want to keep wanting to say soft sea foam, but it's not that. But it was something similar to that name. But it was a really pretty light blue. So when I use a blending brush, I keep my stamp pad open and I pick up color and then tap off. This is quite, it's quite surprising how dark this is. So I just really want to do a light brushing of the boho blue and start off the paper. Now you can start to see the flowers kind of and the leaf, those sprigs come to life. And you can make it as dark as you want or as light as you want, but part of this is going to be covered by my designer series paper. Often I will actually cut my paper bigger. I didn't in this case, but I will sometimes cut my paper bigger than I want it to be. If you start to get dark edges, then you can kind of trim it to be what you want. Okay, so now I'm going to do some stamping on here as well. So, oops, I haven't even opened this Azure Afternoon. I just got most of my colors came, well, some of my colors came last Thursday, a week ago. Ooh, I haven't played much with this. And some only arrived yesterday. So this is the little center for the flowers. So I'm actually going to stamp this. So this is kind of a combination of embossed resist and actually some stamping. So I'm going to stamp the center of the flowers in this Azure Afternoon. Just kind of pops it a little bit, I think. There we go. Didn't do that one very well. And there we go. I think that's quite pretty. Now, do I want to do something else on here? I'm going to just stamp in boho blue. So I think I'm going to stamp, but I'm going to stamp off these 4 little flowers, and I'm just going to kind of do some stamping just to add some detail to my background. I'm not sure I like this, but I'm kind of there. Once you start, you kind of you're committed. So I probably am wishing I hadn't done this, but there we go. It's okay. It is what it is. All right. So we'll let that dry for just a minute. We're going to adhere it to this Azure Afternoon. And I grabbed, that's my white. This is going to be for the inside of the card. So let's cut it to size, and then I probably will have a little bit left over that I can stamp my sentiment. So this piece needs to be 5 1/4 by 4. Yeah, so we've got a piece at the bottom that I can stamp my sentiment. There we go. That's for the inside of the card. And while I have my ink pad out, I'm going to stamp my flower on the inside, on the bottom corner. So this boho blue is definitely quite dark, which is interesting because it really doesn't look that dark on the in the pictures. Okay, we can put that on the inside. Maybe. So I'll start playing with the new product. So the product from the new catalog as I get it. And so you'll start to see it. Customers can start to order it as of May 2nd. Let's get the bunnies on like that. And I will be sending out, so if you've placed an order with me in the last year, I am just packaging up the annual catalogs, as well as a wish list, as well as a bookmark, and with the new colors, the new in colors, and also with the color refresh. Gosh, there's a lot of blue on this. I don't know about this, but I'm hoping it'll grow on me. Seaside spray. That was the name of that other blue that is kind of like this boho blue, but I'm sure this is much darker than that that one. So yes, so if you've put an order in with me over the last year, you will be getting a catalog in the mail. And if you haven't, if you live in Canada and you haven't put an order in with me, you can just let me know that you want a catalog. There is a place to sign up for a catalog on my blog, or you can just email me and let me know. Okay, so this is the Night of Navy. This is the bordered ribbon in Night of Navy. This was part of the Regency Park suite. So I'm just going to take a piece that's the width of my card, and I'm just cutting on the diagonal. So I'm just going to kind of hide the seam. That's what I was trying to say. And I'm going to use a little strip of stamp and seal across there, just to hold my ribbon on. That. Okay, now we need to stamp this sentiment. And like I said, I'm going to use this one that says, "Our friendship is a thing of beauty." And I hope I have enough basic white. I might have to grab some more basic white here, because nope, that will do it. This is a very thin stamp. So this is 1/2 inch is all I've got, but it's definitely wide enough for this. And I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy. I think I've got enough of the lighter blues on this card. So let's see. Just going to stamp. I think I have it upside down. I do. So let's get it going the right way. And now I'm going to cut this up, just because I think I want to kind of make it just be little bits of words. I'll let that dry for just a minute. Clean up my space. All right. So I'm going to do "Our friendship" and cut that. And then I'm going to do "is a thing of," and then "beauty." So that one I'll leave, and I just want to trim the ends off this. You could use a die or a punch to punch this out. In fact, I think the Waves for Inspiration stamp set has dies that will cut this out. Now I've used most of my my dimensionals off of here. I've just cut the edges, so I'm just I don't want it to wobble. So I've just kind of staggered it and put 2 pieces on, 2 thin strips. So we'll just put "Our friendship," and then "is a thing." Just trim this down a little bit. You could use the mini dimensionals if you wanted, but I'm just using up this extra strips that I have. "Our friendship is a thing of," and then I think this is going to be too long. I will trim this end off. There we go. This is a thing of beauty. Yeah, I didn't really leave enough space, did I? All right, let's try this, see if I can lift this up. Sometimes it's better to start with the bottom word so that you can actually make sure that it's going to fit. So that's what I should have done here, but I didn't. All right, so let's start with the bottom word there, and then is a thing. And then of beauty. There we go. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to put on, these are the in color dots. So they are in the Pebbled Path, the Wild Wheat, Moody Mauve or Moody Mauve, Copper Clay, and then Boho Blue. So I'm just going to put some of the Boho Blue ones on. I think I will kind of disappear on that. So let's kind of put them on. There we go. They're really pretty. Okay. All right. Not sure about this card, but you know, that's Emboss Resist. Sometimes you kind of just have to play with it a little bit and see how it goes. I don't know, maybe it's you know, somewhat country in that often you get mixtures of wallpapers. Definitely the blue is very country-like. So if you haven't, well, probably you don't have a catalog yet, because if you're a demonstrator, not all the demonstrators have got catalogs yet. But you will start to see these the new products from the catalogs very soon, if you haven't already. So this Countryside Inn is one of my favorites, and in fact, this is the suite we're using for the for your creativity. No, for the monthly card club. I have to get them right in May. So if you have participated in my monthly card club, this is the suite that we are using. The Your Creativity Awaits kit by mail is we're using circle sayings. So if you're not sure what those are, I can start to show you some of those products going forward. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed the card, and if you haven't hit the subscribe button, sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified when I go live. Now, I will be live on Saturday. I will be live a little earlier, so it'll be 9:30 Pacific, and the reason for that is I have a meeting at 11, so I want to make sure I go live before my meeting. So come join me at 9:30 Pacific on Saturday for a project, and then I'll be live again on Sunday about 12 noon Pacific. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping. Bye.